you have to obviously have the benefit with the action together. And the why portion really is speaking to their needs, right? What makes you different? What makes you better? And those are a lot of times those little extra trust factors.
It's not so much, some of the other stuff you're talking is the phraseology, the words, and a lot of effort into that. This is literally all visual. Like, put it on there and take a look at it. How does it present? How does it look, right? We're not choosing words here in this slide. And I think this is an area a lot of people will overlook. Hey everybody, got a great episode here for you today. We're talking with Keith Evans. Keith was on our show about a year ago. Let's see, episode 129, talking about improved Google click-through rate for better website click-through rate and some of the psychology behind what goes into that. We got Keith back on again today. We're going to take a little bit deeper dive into some of the psychology, and we're going to be talking here, Killer Keith Conversion, Crafting Above the Fold. Check it out. Keith Evans from Up Hero dropping some knowledge on getting people to convert once they land on your page. Welcome back to Local SEO Tactics, where we bring you tips and tricks to get found online. I'm your host, Jesse Dolan, here with returning guest, Mr. Keith Evans. How you doing, Keith?
Hello, internet world.
The superhero from Up Hero. I don't know if you ever use that, but you're free to use that from now on, Keith. That's got you back.
When I picked out colors for my company, I'm like, there's no one that's doing purple and turquoise, right? There's like no superhero doing that. So I'm like, that's it. Purple and turquoise.
There is now. You just got to find the right space for that hero. You were on, I have it pulled up here for everybody listening or watching, episode 129, about a year ago, talking about click-through rate, psychology behind driving traffic. It's a great episode. You're an expert.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was super fun.
I think we might have had some, I don't remember if it was like F-Boy Island was on there or something about fantasy dating, something. I don't know. I'm easily distracted. So
a little teaser for everybody. There's some salacious content in there in addition to nerding out on some digital marketing. But I'd known Keith, met at a mastermind in person, worked together on some projects previous. Keith was recommended by somebody, and just a great professional, extremely knowledgeable. Was happy to have you on about a year ago talking CTR and the psychology, which I think you have some fascinating stuff there. You're in multiple Facebook groups sharing this kind of stuff. So truly an expert in this area, but also more broadly, of course, websites, SEO, digital marketing, local SEO, things like that. So excited to have you back on to dive into this topic again.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
So
this is my passion. This is what I do every day, helping small businesses. Right? People just don't really realize that words and the images and what you say, right? They're reading it. It really can influence people to call you, to buy, to click.
Yeah, getting found. Pure SEO is one thing, but then the decision to patronize that business or reach out or provide them some information to get into their stream or whatever, that doesn't happen automatically. You have to have some tact. And I personally really think your advice and your approach is great. And you're fun, and this will be entertaining and interesting. No pressure.
And I dance. We could do some dancing if you want. We could do that.
We'll mix in some audio and post-production there to really spice it up for you.
Maybe some ABBA or the Village People. I don't know. We
can do that. I'll send you a playlist. What did you backed up there? What does your shirt say? There's a warning on there.
Here, you read it. Can you read it?
I'm the SEO the SEJ warned you about, which it's true. SEJ, Search Engine Journal. I guess not always gospel if you're trying to be white hat, black hat, and you're on their hit list, it looks like, right?
Yeah, well, I make fun of myself. I make fun of others. If you're a small business owner, the Search Engine Journal is just one of those that it's a little bit of hype. They do have some good authors, some good writers, but eventually there's a sellout, right? They're not always going to tell you the truth. And people like me and Jesse, we're behind the scenes so we're just making a little fun. Having fun.
Hey, I don't know if you caught my hat is gray in that
Oh,
same
yeah.
tongue in cheek. Like, you can't just do things only the right way. All's fair in love and SEO. Definitely some things to avoid, but yeah, I think some of the tactics you deploy wouldn't get published maybe on the front page of Search Engine Journal, right? And I don't mean that in a negative way, but I mean that in an advanced tactic and strategy way, right? Some of the things that we share on these episodes, are they black hat according to Google? Well, yeah, I guess so. But
And this is the reality, Mr. Business Owner. Yeah. Any type of manipulation is against their terms and conditions. Right. So
that's where the tongue-in-cheek part is, right? Like, how do
you beat that? Right.
Everything's gray. Everything's gray. So, anyways, you, regardless of all that, right, making fun of yourself, making fun of the industry, making fun of resources, you have a model, you have a formula, you have some ideas that work. You're on here today. We want to talk deeper into this, area of the psychology, right? Again, we're going to get into some SEO stuff that people can steal out of here. But I would say the main focus, what we want to talk about here today is, once you're on that page, right? Or once you have a visitor on your page, that part of the interaction to turn them into a lead, or get opted in, things like that. So turning the stage over to you, Keith, to kind of start walking us down this path. Again, frame of mind. Somebody's on your website. A few things, I guess, before I do turn it over completely. We're going to talk above the fold for everybody listening. I might say that a lot. Keith might say that. What we're talking is kind of like that newspaper reference, right? You got the front page sitting in front of you, the above the fold in the newspaper, the top half. Speaking digitally on websites, whether you're on a big screen like your desktop or a small screen on mobile, we're talking about the very first thing you see at the top of the page you're visiting, right? The first thing you see, the most important impact, definitely important for Google and for the things that we do above the fold for signals and SEO. But even more today, we're going to dive into the human being part, seeing that stuff for the first time, right? First impressions, things like that, and what gets people to go further. So with that really rolled out, Keith, where would you like to start?
Well, I can share my screen here and I could just go over some stuff. Yeah. And as slides come up, we can talk about them and interact and then get, people get them thinking about what they really need to do to get more calls, right? Get the conversions. That's what you want. You want sales, you want results, because SEO is great. Hey, you're number 2, you're in the Google map, but why am I not getting phone calls? Yeah. That's what we're going to fix today.
Right. Which is great.
So can you see the conversion rate optimization I have up? CRO is what we're talking about. So you take a look at something like this, and the first thing you think is, okay, what are they selling here, Jesse? What is this? What's going on?
Well, entertainment, friendship. I guess I have a little bit of curse knowledge knowing maybe where some of this goes, but I don't know, fun.
That's that emotional creation. And even though Jake Sprinkler in landscape, he can say, I'm just a landscaper. I know how to dig ditches. I install sprinklers. I put sod in. But what does this mom want over here on the right with the plate of food? She's with her family. She's celebrating. They want to enjoy their outdoor space.
Yep.
So that's what a professional like me does. And we say, hey, listen, Apple isn't just selling you a computer. They're selling you a luxury computer. They're getting you to think different. That's exactly how you make your brand different, by appealing to the emotion, the heart.
Right.
And so that's exactly what you see above the fold here, right? You look at the logo, upper left-hand corner. I know exactly where I am. I see their hours, their phone services. You get the headline. People are definitely going to see that first. We really are trying to pull on the heartstrings and then get them down below to say, look, you can have all of these benefits. Just click right there, right? It's not just, oh, I'm selling landscaping. No, you're not, right? It's more than that.
Yeah, why did they want the landscaping, right?
So in order to really know what you do, whether you're a plumber, you're an HVAC, doesn't really matter, swinging a hammer, installing pipe, whatever, is you truly need to know your audience. who is really behind the computer and what do they truly want, right? What is their end goal? Because you have to appeal to that and then think about, well, why are they on this page? As many times when you buy an ad on Facebook or Instagram or even off of Google Ads, don't just send it to the homepage because they had a specific need or a concern, and what you wanted to do was give them a specific landing page where they can then convert, right? Hot water goes out, you want a specific hot water ad and a specific hot water heater landing page. Let me just click on here. Once they're on that page, we obviously want to focus on what do you want them to do? But more importantly, this is where that persuasive language is really going to focus on the why, right? If you are appealing to a male audience, you're probably going to want a male picture on that hero above the fold. If you really think about their true needs and then how your offer will satisfy it, you're more likely going to get them to say yes and click to learn more and click to call and go from there.
On here you have the last two bullet points. What do I want them to do and why should they do it? You know, for all the business owners, marketing managers listening, can you translate that into what would I want them to do on my website, right? And why should they do it, right? Are we click to learn more, click to get a quote, or, you know, do I want them to make a phone call? Is there anything you can drop for maybe what things to do and why should they do it? And maybe you're going to get to some of this in a little bit, but help us understand what that means.
A little bit, but this is very simple language, right? And you're like, well, of course I want them to call you, but wait a minute. Is your phone number clearly seen on the screen, right? Did you say the word call now and then it has 505 -- right? You have to obviously have the benefit with the action together. And the why portion really is speaking to their needs, right? What makes you different? What makes you better? And those are a lot of times those little extra trust factors. And it can be simple as, you know, since 1990, you know, we have 20 trucks. We serve the greater 3-county area. We are certified. We have warranties. That's the why that would really kind of motivate them. But if you don't really have your phone number quite obviously there, then you're really not going to get phone calls. And they're like, oh, they keep filling out the form. Well, guess what? The button, right?
Right.
So that's the more about the what do I really want them to do? And that's actually one of the first questions I ask people is, hey, Mr. Business Owner, what do you want them to do? Do you want calls? Do you want them to fill out a form? Do you want them just to book right on your calendar? So
right. Nice. Yeah, I think that's something people need to think about.
Right.
That's great.
And that really means thinking from the customer's point of view. I'm going to tell all you guys right now, stop looking at your competitors' websites because they suck. They almost all suck. You need to think about what does your customer really want on that process? What's their common need? And if you really can focus on them, then you'll be able to focus on why they need you, right? Customers don't care who you are. I pulled all the different Boise dentists in the market, and this is the first thing you see. So there's 3 different websites here, or pardon, 4 different websites, and you'll see that I have some highlighted in red. They start talking about themselves right away. We're so good, and we do this, and we would love to have you, and we maintain, and we treat us. No one cares about that. I have a toothache. Tell me, do you have emergency service? Are you available right now? I need to get in for an appointment. Don't start bragging about we, because again, no one really cares about that.
You know, I saw something on Facebook with just a local like car dealer here, right? And kind of what you're saying, that same thought resonated with me. in the last couple of weeks. It was like, check out the newest additions to our inventory, right? Just very generic, whatever. And I read that and I was thinking about some of this conversion stuff and exactly what you said, like, great. Like, you're proud of the new vehicles, you know, that you have on your lot, but you know, where's the, like, picture yourself in this convertible, you know, or this is a great truck for hauling firewood, or like whatever the hell the thing is.
And what do you think is on the mind of someone? Oh, it's affordable and 30 miles per gallon, right? Oh, save on gas. So now that you've met my need, the true need, now you can say, you know, Tri-City's largest dealer of Chevy trucks and Dodge or whatever, right? Then you can kind of talk about the trust items. But really it's more focused on your customer has a problem. They have a challenge. They have a need. So try to address that in the above the fold. Yeah.
And like you're saying too, like this language where it serves them and not as boastful of you as the business, right? You're not, you know, you're not trying to impress anybody with what you have or what you can do to an extent. Obviously we want that impression, but you're not boasting, you're providing the solutions, right? So.
And so a small business owner will say, well, where do I put the we at? Once you have addressed what the need and the concern is, now you can reassure them with, we've been doing this since 1977. We do this. It's not the main headlines. It's a little bit further down, right?
And would you say there's been some Google updates and stuff, and I don't want to get into too much late breaking news and things like that, as far as like what's helpful, what's not, and the intent of pages. Do you think that matters for where things are geared towards solving problems, helping people versus promoting myself? Do you think there's a tinge to any of that, or does this just happen to be where maybe overlapping things that are just great for consumers happen to be intersecting?
I think that if you can have a great on-page experience, keep them on the page, have a video, talk to them, right? Sure. No, don't talk at them, right? We do this, you want this, order this now. But if you say how you can solve their problem, now it's an easier relationship, right? Yep. With that in mind, then that's where that trust factor is going to happen, that people are naturally going to go onto a website. And this is exactly why there's always going to be get rich quick schemes, right? Oh my gosh, multi-level marketing. It's just this easy. Why? Why are humans naturally going to trust each other? It's because part of our survival of the species, right? There's no way that humans will naturally. How do we know that that red fruit is good? How do we know that that water over there is good for us? Well, our neighbors drank from it and they didn't die. I guess we should go drink from that water too, right?
Seems to be good.
Yeah. People are going to give in to their impulses, right? And this is why there's always diet ads and there's always going to be the bigger, better thing, right? Because we believe what they say. You just have to sort through the bullshit part, right?
Yep. Right.
You just need to tempt them. So if you give them just enough information, especially that trigger the reaction, right? Think about it. Jake's landscaping company, if you were really searching for sprinklers or sod grass installation, and then you saw it was talking about fun and talking about family, that's wow. You really drew me in, right? To I want to do business with you.
Yeah, that's the space I want to be showing me the transformation. You know, you're speaking of that transformation.
And that's where the human appeals, you want to have them in those headlines, right? And then have that call to action. So many times it's that loss aversion, they call it in conversion, which is that's the sales psychology of don't do this, don't get ripped off, call it a day. I don't want to lose money. I should move forward with you. Or people want to look healthier, younger, right? And you don't want to wait anymore, get my free quote, right? And then now, right, the impulsiveness. Right. One thing I always ask my small business owners too, I'm like, will you take calls at 7 a.m.? Will you take a call at 7 p.m.? Will you take a call Saturday morning? And I'm like, now, really, I want to know. because I can advertise you and promote you as open late, open early, talk to an expert now. Your ads, when they run on Facebook and on Google Ads, can be targeted at certain times of the day,
right,
so that you can serve them. So that's really important too.
I like it. And I like your one in there in your example. For everybody, if you're just listening, obviously check this out on YouTube as well. You can see the slides here in the presentation along with it that we're talking over and that Keith is showing. But the one in the middle, look 10 years younger. You know, that sounds so much better than you look pretty old and maybe we should help that out, you know, or things like that, right? Just you're speaking towards they want to look younger. They don't want to not look old. And does it sound like I'm splitting hairs? Yeah.
But you want people to be thinking of their future self, their better self, right? I wish I could lose 20 pounds. I wish I didn't look fat, right? Okay. We're going to tease that in that headline.
Yeah.
I love this on the right is that people are going to see the bigger headline first. They're going to read that. So you have to be aware that when you put your website together, humans are going to see the big words first, and especially if it's high contrast. Now, what I mean by high contrast is think of a bumblebee or a hornet. It's black on yellow, right? It's that Caterpillar logo. It's that DeWalt. It's danger. It's related to construction, but it's also you see it and it gets your attention, just like a stop sign. It's red. It's an octagon. It has white letters. So when you use a very clear headline, your human's going to see that and read it first. And then the graphic that we have up here goes into smaller items, right? And the very last, the smallest font, which is actually the first thing at the top of the page, it says, and you're going to read this last. And it's true, right?
Yeah, I challenge everybody. Check this out and see if you don't read that last. Right? You're just gonna, you know, which is also interesting. Because, you said the first thing, you'll read this first, high contrast. It's not at the top either, but you're still drawn to it for those reasons.
Exactly. So. High contrast, black on white. So the other thing that's funny too is arrows or directions. Someone's reading something, and if you point the arrow to where it has to go, they're going to look there. So even if you told them, hey, I want you to look left, but the arrow points right, their eyes are going to go to the right. It's so damn funny. We talked a little bit about that visual hierarchy. Obviously, having the most important thing, the main benefit, right? When they come to your site, what's the main benefit they're going to get? And you really need to think on this. I went through 50 different HVAC websites in the greater Boise area. I really only came across 2 or 3 that had a good competitive advantage. This was really shocking. One of these websites, they are businesses, they are established in 1909. That would make them the oldest HVAC company in Boise. Right. Guess where they put that information at? Not on the homepage.
Oh.
Not, right? I know right now what happened. If you look on camera, Jesse is freaking out. If you have a competitive advantage, scream it from the rooftop, right? They put it on the about page and they put it at the top, a small little bold, you know, and all they said was since 1909. They didn't even say Boise's oldest. How long someone's been doing something, the experience is a huge benefit, and it motivates a consumer to want to buy from you. Remember, on your headlines, you really want to answer, what does my customer really want? And then help direct that to them. So here's a website more tailored for women. We have their logo in the upper left-hand corner. We've got a pretty girl. She's looking to the headline. That's something to key in on. Did you notice that, Jesse, where her eyes are going?
That is, that's slick. Okay.
When humans look at another human, and we will, right? I mean, I already know that Jesse's looking at this blonde girl thinking, man, I want to be on vacation with her because she's walking the beach somewhere, right? But humans will look at other humans. It's just natural. Yeah. She's looking at the main headline. So what does that do for you?
You got to go over there.
Well, if she's looking at it, I'm going to look at it too. And so the headline says, finally, regular treatments you can afford. Oh, what a relief. I want regular treatments and I want it to be affordable. Finally, I don't need to look anymore. I found what I want, right?
That is so, I mean, not to be too giddy, but like psychologically, just instead of saying, treatments available, great prices or whatever, which sounds so garage sale-y or just slap it together. This is something that has intent and purpose. And when you read it, and especially with the context on the page, it just has such a different connotation. And are we saying the same things at the end of the day? Yeah, but which one's going to get people to call you or to click that button? This stuff is gold. I think this is spectacular. So, hey everyone, just want a quick interrupt on the show here to talk about Bright Local. If you haven't checked it out yet, go on out to localseotactics.com/brightlocal, or you can go to our resources page, scroll through that, which has a bunch of different resources that we recommend and use ourselves, and look for the mentions about Bright Local. There's a lot of things Bright Local does. We use it in-house. It's one of our favorite tools. We mainly use it for the rank tracking for your website. You can kind of monitor your keyword progress, tracking the ranks, fluctuations, things like that over time for specific keywords that you enter in. We also love their local search grid tool for your Google My Business or Google Business Profile listing. And what that's going to do is show you over your metro area, whatever you select for the size of the grid, right? With 7x7 points, 9x9. Basically, you define a certain area and it's going to tell you if you were standing on those spots. How does your GMB rank for the specified keywords? So that's great as well. We also use it for citation building, citation management for all your properties and mentions out there, whether it be Yelp, Facebook, local city pages, BBB, things like that. It's a great tool to help build and manage your citations to make sure your name, address, phone number is consistent and all those other things to really get your digital footprint identified by Google. They also have reputation management where you can aggregate all the reviews that you're getting across all these different portals, see how many reviews you're getting, what your score is, things like that, and a host of other tools. Check it out. They've got a free 14-day trial. If you go through localseotactics.com/brightlocal, or again, go to the link off of our resources page, you're going to be able to take advantage of that 14-day trial. It is an affiliate link. We'll get a few bucks if you do that. Doesn't increase the price for you at all. Just kind of makes the tide rise for everybody. So if you're interested in any of those applications, like I said, they've got a whole suite of tools that's going to help you out, whether you're an agency or if you're doing SEO for yourself. I should mention, if you are an agency or trying to start an agency, they also have some great white label options, so you can leverage their tools and their products for your clients to showcase the analytics, the data, and give a real professional spin on your reporting, which is something we use as well. So check it out, localseotactics.com/brightlocal, and take advantage of their 14-day trial.
We're going to talk a little bit about how to use the bullets and what to do on these different headline tips. One of the main things to think about is the word because, right? It is one of the most powerful words in the English language, and I'll tell you why. When Jesse was 3 years old and he wanted a fudgesicle from his mom, or go down to the Fancy Freeze, say, "Mom, that's what I want," and she's like, "No, we can't." And nobody said, "Why?" And her answer was, "Because." When your parent tells you because, you can't fight that. You can't fight because. It's direct from God practically, right? It's
no argument.
Commandment. Because. So what do? You can now use because in your headline. Finally, we just had that example previously. Yeah. Finally, what I've always been looking for, right? Oh, that's what I want. Finally, low-cost insurance because you want it, because you need it. Why? Because.
Period.
The other thing, too, is it's about time.
That's good.
Tying in where they're at today. And remember, and on our graphic here, we have a cartoon of someone looking in the mirror. They really want to be thinking about their future self, their better self, right? I make more money. I'm handsome. I've lost 20 pounds. I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
It's about time you lost weight. It's about time you get your crap together, right? When you've put in that kind of, and these are just simple tips, just drop it in. It's about time you save money on heating costs. Oh, I want to save money on my heating bill.
That just anchors you to right now, and then you're looking forward, right? That statement. I think that's
exactly.
That's a great 3
and
words.
then you're more motivated to stay on the page.
Yeah.
You have supporting headlines, supporting information. What else are you going to do, right? You're going to dangle a carrot with maybe an offer, free quote. Do you need an in-person estimate? Do you need financing, right? You need to be thinking about their needs.
Yeah.
In general, most humans want, this is just obvious. I want it now. I want it yesterday. I want it fast. And it has to be easy. I don't want to work. That's why I want get rich quick. Seriously.
Right.
I should just buy Bitcoin, right? He'll just buy Bitcoin. It's easy. It's fast. And what else? It's affordable. So value was another big thing. When you use any of those words, fast, easy, affordable, that's definitely going to help you quite a bit in your headlines. Think about that happy future and then make them feel proud of their new self, right? You know, like imagine what you look like on the beach, 15 pounds lighter. Oh, yes, I can imagine that. That would be great, right?
Who was that voice that came in there? I don't know.
Who knows? That was Jesse's girl from the earlier slide.
Yes.
On the beach.
There you go.
The other thing to think about too is how other people view you, right? That's why there's people that are somewhat addicted to social media, and we got TikTok. How do people think about who you are? So that can be inquired into headlines too, that say, okay, whatever your solution is, it really needs to think about the outcome of that desirable change, right? So here's an example. The only presentation software that will make you look like a professional designer. Oh,
that's a great illustration. Yeah.
Right? I want that. I need that because I have to put together a presentation this weekend. And then what else really makes that headline pop, do you think, Jesse?
The only presentation software that will make you look like a professional designer. Well, I like to make you look, right? Like which kind of hits back to your whole social persona or your outward
and
deal,
that making you feel the little feelings there. But there's one word on there that really you'll be like, oh yeah, of course.
The only? Am I guessing right? The only?
Exactly. Right. Exclusive.
Yes.
You offer exclusivity, then no one else can do this. Yep. The only presentation software that will make you look like a professional designer.
That's powerful.
Think about how others will view the user. And then whatever the button is, think about action benefit. You really want to put the two together. It can really be as simple as call now for a free estimate. Jesse and I have seen 1,000 of those, but it still works because if I take action, call now, what do I get? I get a free estimate, right?
Sure.
This is a big thing too, is people just can have, it's too technical, too many words. You really need to focus on making it easy and simple for people to consume stuff. This is the reality. You spend any time on the diarrhea of social media, people are idiots. People are stupid, okay? A lot of this country is still bamboozled by fake news, right?
Sure.
It's just the world. Look at where Russia is using their propaganda to try to convince people, right? Make it easy and simple that people understand, and then that audience is more likely to buy from you.
Right.
Also be aware of font style and the size and the color. Blue might be in your corporate colors, but it's not going to be easy to read on a small screen, right? Oh, well, we like blue and red. We're patriotic. Well, that's great. You do not double dog dare put red ink font on a blue background, okay? That is like 1990. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to bold every word. You really want to bold and use italics on the important action statements. And from an SEO point of view, even Jesse knows this, what do we do with bold?
Keywords, related topics.
Yeah.
What's special?
Right.
Make it special.
So if we're talking about hot water heaters, we could say, save on hot water heaters today, and that could be bold, the hot water heaters. That's why they came on the page, is because they wanted to save regarding that.
Yeah.
The other thing to think about too is how people really read a page. So I have a graphic here that is sort of like a heat zone. It follows the eyes. Now, it's deliberately backwards in the English Western Hemisphere because I wanted to make a point. This is actually an Arabic website, but you'll notice, where are the people's eyes going, Jesse, on this graphic?
Yeah, down to the right there.
Yeah, they're going to go, they're looking at the high contrast. They're going to look at faces, right? Look how they don't really go to the black and white. They definitely see the spaced items, right? They see the bullets, and they're really focused on headlines. Humans are going to chunk and kind of go down a website in layers, just like little cakes, okay? Layers of cake. You might even say that this could be different patterns, like pattern like an F, or pattern like a C, the letter C, or the shape like a Z. That eye flow, people are lazy. They're going to scroll, and they're just going to click and see things that pop off the page. So how do you clean this up? Don't have too many adjectives on the page, okay? Even adverbs can go. Extra prepositions. This is a big one. About, on the boat, of the hill, next to the river. Oh my gosh, you can say the same thing much shorter by just saying the boat next to the river on the lake. Oh,
now why are you saying
shorter, sweeter?
Why are you saying to remove both of those? Just to give people less things to process?
Yeah, shorter and simple. It's, if you ever work with bad writers or foreign writers or people who are just not good in grammar in general, they'll just use a lot of prepositions. Sure. And Mrs. Sundberg taught me the entire list of 89 prepositions in 8th grade, and I can still probably name them all off today. Just look for those things where you're like, can I take two prepositions? Because a preposition is nothing more than an adjective that's helping describe the noun, right? Sure. So if you can just say, instead of saying the boat on the river, you can just say the riverboat. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's the riverboat.
Right.
Weak adverbs, very quietly, and a lot of those are those words with the ly at the end, or they're going to be next to the verbs on the page. Really think about any kind of persuasive copy. These are the things you want to help them, entice them, right? We talked a little bit about this, about the helpful content and helpful information. If it's really good writing, has a little bit of motion, has great info, you keep them either laughing, crying, on the edge of their seat, they're going down the article, they're going down the page, they're going to stay on the page. And I'm confident that that's a ranking SEO signal for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
This kind of really does break it down. On the right-hand side, I have a mobile shot of a girl, a graphic at the top, and then it says, say goodbye to mascara. Are you ready to toss out that old frustrating mascara? And then it just chunks down where, if you really, really carefully look at this, you want to have 3 to 5 lines of text, not words, not sentences, lines. You need to take your mobile view, 425 pixels wide, and say, wow, a giant paragraph looks terrible. Break things up from bigger stuff at the bottom to smaller stuff at the bottom.
Like in your example there, that first 3 lines, that's one sentence to your point, right? But it's 3 lines is how it represents. So
3 lines, right. Where the next one is technically right on the edge of 5 lines. And notice how you only have 3 bullets. Also, what's interesting too, you say, well, Keith, you have 2 different action buttons at the bottom. But notice which one do you think I really want them to go to?
Bottom one.
It's much stronger popping off the page. Yeah. One trick I do, I've done this forever, step back from whatever you're working on. Now, and these tricks you can use in your direct mail, you can use in any of your advertising, but step back when you look at your phone or when you're looking at the screen and squint a little bit. Yeah. Deliberately kind of just get your eyelashes to cover and then really look and see what's popping off the page, right? You do that in this sample, headlines, right? High contrast are going to pop off the page. You can also get creative with your language and your words by doing something all in caps. You can also use a first letter capitalized. And that is something that's been tested day in and day out in Google Ads, right? Get people to think in short little bursts. They're going to slow down, better absorb that information. You can even get a little tricky and do small cap. Remember, you are battling for people's attention, so kind of slightly break up the monotony. But remember, the golden rule is clear, simple, concise, right? It's okay. You can use a little color. You can use emojis. You can use a parentheses. You can do hyphens, symbols, even digits, right? Here's a little trick regarding digits. If I said, hey, something is, it's $10,000. Oh, could be a lot of money, right? Make sure when you write that, instead of just saying, $10K, you do $10, comma, 000, and then you also add the decimal, 0.00. So now you're like, holy crap, that's 7 digits. It looks bigger on the screen. Right. There's another trick. You can obviously bold it, make it look bigger, and then you slash it, right? Oh, it's not 10,000. It's only $79.99. Now there's no comma in the 7999. You also don't put the decimals to the right, the extra zeros to the right. Just little tricks like that. There has even been studies that the 7 visually looks small, right? It's a little line and it goes down and that's it. So some people have been using 7s in their marketing because it looks smaller. And you're like, that's crazy.
All those little psychological
things. It's bigger than 6. Well, I can manipulate it on the page to make you think it's smaller.
All these that you have on this slide here, Keith, is it's not so much some of the other stuff you're talking is the phraseology, the words, and a lot of effort into that. This is literally all visual. Like, put it on there and take a look at it. How does it present? How does it look? Right? We're not choosing words here in this slide. And I think this is an area a lot of people will overlook. They just craft it, put it out there. Does it have my keywords? Does it say the benefits? But this is very important.
And that's why when you look at the sample on the right-hand side of the page, you're like, the image matches the headline. We then get a little emotional raise out of them. And then they're like, yeah, I don't want to be frustrated. And then we explain more about the product. We give 3 little bullets that are all benefit, right? Benefit, benefit, benefit. And then we say, what do you want? Do you want to learn more or do you want to order? Really, it's as simple as that. That's what your mobile phone experience should look like.
Yeah, that's stellar.
I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. But if you really think about the logical path of your user, that's really going to help you dictate what do you want them to do. And that's exactly what my company does at UpHero, which is it's like, look at, if you're spending money on your ads, you're not happy or satisfied with your website, or you're like, I think I'm spending too much on my website, certainly go out, you can search my brand, UpHero, and that's where you can get a free analysis. I'm happy to exactly what I just did. I can do a free analysis on your site. I'm happy to do that for small business owners, Jess.
Yeah, and we'll link to your UpHero in the episode of this page. Everybody can Google it to find it. There's no other UpHero. You're going to find Keith. And yeah, soup to nuts. Like we were talking before we record, web design, content, SEO, this kind of stuff to convert. You guys can take care of it all. So anything else you want to close with, Keith, or add on there?
Not really.
Cool.
I appreciate the time. Like I said, this is exactly what I do every day. People can invest in the search engine optimization, which, I do help people rank. But the only reason why you should pay anyone with your marketing is to get calls, to get those conversions. You want results. So make sure you partner with someone who has your best interests at heart.
Get your phone to ring, get your email to ding, right?
Someone else had a line like, I'll get your phone to ring and you do your thing.
That's good too. Anything that rhymes is good.
And this is another thing. Oh my gosh. More conversion optimization.
Bonus.
When things rhyme, people like that. It's kind of sing-song.
Yep.
Think about rhyming words in your marketing. I have a guy that does trash can cleaning. I'm like, what? How am I going to do this? And I'm like, who's the man who can clean your can?
Yes.
Now, he likes the sense of humor too, but I'm not kidding you. This is a little secret, guys. I went to this thesauruses and I typed in the word can, and I'm like in first grade. I'm thinking of all these words that rhyme with can. And I'm like, man, jam, stand, fan, right? How am I going to make this work? And it makes a difference.
It's crafting, right? It's with intent for a reason. It's crafting, and all this. This all does intersect. So, Keith,
awesome.
Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it, man. All right, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed that. There's some great knowledge here in this episode with Keith, just like on the previous episode we had with him, number 129. We'll link to that in the show notes. We'll also link to his UpHero website so you can contact Keith if you're interested in his expertise and the services he provides and his company. I think you're going to find that he'll do a bang-up job for you. And again, I really like looking to him, in addition for SEO and his knowledge in those areas, just for some of the psychology, the stuff we were talking about here today. So hopefully it was a good episode for you. Hopefully you pulled some nuggets out of it. And we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, everybody.